Hello, Mark. I'm Arthur from Blocktempo and ABS, and it's our pleasure to have you here. So the first question I want to ask about, have you been to Taiwan before, and how is Taiwan?
Wow, that's yeah, I have been to Taiwan, and thank you very much for the interview. Taiwan's amazing. I love the city. I was here in 2019, pre-COVID. I got to see the city. I brought my daughter as well, and we got to see the original Din Tai Fung, so it was absolutely awesome. Yeah, so loved Taipei, loved Taiwan.
Nice. And the panel you just joined is really exciting. It feels like a clash between the Web 2 and the Web 3 space. And Mantra is doing amazing well in crypto market. And of course, the Citi Group we all know. So after your speech and panel, what were your main takeaways from the other speaker?
Yeah, I think there's great work that's going on in the crypto world. And I think the positives around the panel is that we're starting to realize that, you know, the technology is one thing, one element to that. And then we have also different use cases, different applications which we're classifying as digital assets. And I think that transcends into the wholesale world where we're doing exactly the same thing as a regulated financial institution, working with our regulators. It's about what does the technology enable us to do, and how can we add apps to that particular technology? Because I think previously in the past, we all thought of Bitcoin as just being that cryptocurrency without realizing that there's an underlying technology there which is capable of doing more than just moving value or cryptocurrencies at that stage. And I think that's really some of the key takeaways that we're from that panel, is that we are now looking at real world assets and the ability to tokenize those.
And the final you said we should rename the RWA, right?
Yeah. From a banking perspective, when we talk about RWA, it's risk-weighted assets that I think of. And I was thinking, how does that relate to cryptocurrency, and how does that relate to blockchain? And then I researched a little bit and realized we're talking about real-world assets. So it was quite funny.
So, and last September, Citigroup announced that the launch of its asset tokenization service, Citi Token services. So can you tell us what motivates Citigroup to take this step, and how the service has been performing so far?
Yeah, so Citi Token Services is our first step into blockchain. And that's really focused, as I said, about the technology and the underlying technology and the use cases associated with that. So from our perspective, blockchain creates a unique opportunity to leverage digital assets through a number of different areas and a number of different ways to create opportunities for wholesale or corporate and financial institutional clients. And so from our perspective, what we wanted to do is, being innovative, is we wanted to see how we can actually put cash on chain, US dollar capability, but enable the blockchain in the background and enable our clients to leverage the power of the blockchain, which enables 24/7 capabilities, the ability to remove some of the frictions that exist today around cutoff times, especially in Asia versus the US and versus Europe, but essentially to leverage that technology. And we'll continue to operate in this space. We'll continue to broaden our digital asset profile. We're looking at it from a security services perspective. We're looking at it from a markets point of view. And we see that, you know, digital assets and blockchain, that's the future. And that future will only be enabled if more financial institutions partner with regulators to be able to move that future closer to becoming a reality.
Yes, thank you. Nice insight. And 2024 is shaping up to be a big year with many traditional financial institutions jumping into the crypto space. So why do you think traditional financial institutions are making a strong move into crypto now rather than during previous bull market?
Yeah, that's a great question and an interesting question. I can't talk about why other financial institutions are looking at it. I think you've got asset managers who are joining and offering, you know, OTC of ETH and BTC, and they're seeing that as becoming an opportunity within the marketplace to offer different asset classes and enable normal investors to operate and have that access or that that exposure to that particular asset class. So I think that's one area of the world that we're looking at. And I think in the other areas, we're starting to look at, as I said, the technology and the capability of that technology to do things that we couldn't do previously. The ability to, minimize risk through atomic settlements, and that could be through delivery versus payment or payment versus payment for FX capabilities. This is the area that we want to go to. But also it's the partnership with regulators. Regulators are now realizing the power of blockchain, the power of digital assets. And from that perspective, that enables us to be able to, support that, because ultimately the technology is one area, but we want to make sure that we are subject to all the regulations, that we're meeting all of those, but that we have, that legal and finality of settlement that happens as well. And I think regulators are now in that space where they're starting to understand, talk about, and actually operate there, because there's a lot of legislation and a lot of regulation that's coming out around digital assets and blockchain.
The whole environment is good now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key to it all, essentially.
Okay. So last year, Citigroup launched a report for the crypto, and it's very leading than other traditional institutions. So we want to ask, we have seen not just Citigroup, but also other financial giants like BlackRock entering the RWA space, and how does Citigroup plan to stay ahead of this competition?
Yeah, you do ask the tough questions. I think it's just continually investing in the technology.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's about the business use case. And I think sometimes asset managers will have a bit different business use case to the area that I sit, which covers payments, covers trade, and basically I sit within the Treasury and Trade Solutions area. Yeah. So what we're trying to solve for clients might be quite different to what asset managers are trying to solve for clients. So I think from a competitive landscape, we will continue to focus on Citi Token services. We'll continue to focus on the elements of business, the business use cases, and what it brings to our corporate and financial institutional clients, and not worry about what our competitors are doing, because ultimately it's all about, business use cases for our clients and solving some of the issues that exist today, but also setting the course or the foundation for what we can build in the future as well.
Yes. Client first is always the big point of the industry. Okay.
Yeah, definitely client-centric approach to everything.
Yeah. So thanks, Mark, again for joining us and ABS, and it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.